But obviously, I love performing here. It's a beautiful city. I only now perform in cute cities because I've gone to some uncute cities, and the worst, which will remain nameless out of respect for the state, but it was Jacksonville, Florida. And I just accepted the gig. I didn't do my research. The place put me up at the Radisson Inn, and I get in there, and I didn't, I know there's different levels of a Radisson Inn, but this was more like a Radisson out. And again, I get there like midnight, flying from the West Coast. I have my little suitcase, and there isn't like a foyer. I have to walk around this pool to like find my room, and there's like 5 gross Floridian men, just like all around, not together, just smoking, just. I'm like, oh my God. So I get in the room and I lock the door and I call my husband. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, what's wrong? Did you take someone else's bag again? I'm like, no. I'm at a Radisson Inn. You obviously don't care. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? I'm like, nothing. So I hang up. And the next morning I wake up and I was not raped. Maybe I've officially aged out of raping. I don't know, but nobody even yelled out or knocked on my door. So I'm like, stop being such an asshole, Heather, and stop with your dramatics. Just make the best of your weekend in Jacksonville. So I'm like, all right, change the attitude and make the best of it. So at the Radisson, I looked out and I could see that there was a Target close enough for me to walk to. If I just walk down this highway, I can get to the Target. So it's a hot Florida day, so I throw in some shorts, a tank top, no makeup, some flip-flops. Decide not to bring my big travel purse. I'll just put my Target card and some cash in my pocket. Just start flip-flopping down the highway. Because I'm pretty excited to go to Target. I have 3 kids, so go to Target childless on a Saturday is a pretty frickin' nice Saturday, am I right, ladies? And if there's a Starbucks inside of the Target, you're like, woo! Like, so amazing. Best 6.5 hours of your life. So I'm flip-flopping down the highway, and some cars are like slowing down. I'm like, I see some signs about where I can dispose of my hypodermic needles. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting park. Like walking. Finally, I get to the Target, and there's something about Target that just, within about 7 to 8 minutes of me being there, I'm just so happy and so relaxed that I have to take a big frickin' dump. And I have talked about this phenomenon with other people. My one friend, it's TJ Maxx. My husband, it's Best Buy. There are certain stores that just speak to your asshole like no other. It is amazing. I was constipated for 3 days, and I was like, let me just go down to Target. And I saw those big red balls, and I was like, get me to stall number 2 stat, because I'm about to make something happen here. But I've had some really awful experiences happen at Target, especially when my kids were younger. And the worst was, I was trying on bikinis in the dressing room, and my little son, my youngest son, was about 3 at the time, and he escaped from underneath the dressing room door. And I'm in the bikini, and I haven't had a wax for a couple months. So now I'm running through the toy aisle in a panic going, Brandon, get back here! Brandon, get back here! I didn't know what to do. I'm like, let my child be stolen, show my bush. Let my child be stolen, show my bush. It was like Sophie's Choice. It was horrible. At a certain point, I'm like, maybe it's time that he meets a new family. I mean, quite honestly, am I really the best person to be raising this child? I mean, first of all, who tries on bikini bottoms at Target anyway, you cheap bitch? They're like $9.99. There's even a little sticker on the crotch that's like, hey, you dirty cunt, we'd really appreciate it. Yeah, try this on. I'm like, hold on. How does my ass look, Brandon? He's probably like, shit, I think I can do better, and escaped, okay? So, I'm running around, tags on the bikini, looking for my child. No one's helping me. No one's even waving down someone in tan pants and a red shirt. No one gives a shit, okay? So I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if they think, because this is LA, maybe they're on like a hidden camera show. And John Quinones of that show, What Would You Do on ABC, is gonna come around the corner and be like, excuse me, ma'am, did you not see this woman in distress? You didn't want to help out, call Child Protective Services or a competent waxer? You just wanted to... You want us to fuzz out your face? You refuse to sign the release for this show? Okay, fine. So I start heading back to the Radisson Inn, flip-flopping down the highway, and this car drives up, and this guy's like, hey, how you doing? Hey. I'm like, oh my God. So I get back to my home at the Radisson Inn, and And I'm like, oh my God, I looked at myself, I'm like, I think that guy thought I was a hooker. I think like not having a purse says a lot. But what also said a lot was the way I looked that day. And it was pretty not great. Like I have these little chicken legs, little skinny chicken legs. And but sometimes they can look a little crack-coey. They can look a little crack-coey. And on this particular day, I had a couple bruises, one too many bug bites. It was rough, even for Jacksonville, Florida standards, okay? I've always had these legs. I remember being like in my sorority and I had these little Daisy Duke shorts on, and I was wearing those little mule shoes. Do you remember those mules? It looked like a little horse's hoof, and you put it on your shoe. And I got drunk and I fell down these stairs, and my sorority sisters were at the bottom, and they said it looked like a baby colt being birthed and trying to stand for the first time, just trying to get some footing. These little mule shoes. So I'm like, I really can't blame this guy, like, for thinking who I was, because I'm like, you know what I look like? Maybe, in this town, is I probably look like, at one time, I was a nice suburban housewife. But then I got in a car accident, and I hurt my back, and I got addicted to Oxycontin, and my husband sent me to rehab, but then he found out that I was fucking someone from rehab, and he's like, get the hell out! I'm like, I will, you asshole! My back still hurts. And so then, for a while, we were separated, and I was able to see the kids, but only supervise visits because I had graduated to worse drugs. Now he has full custody. I live in the Radisson Inn full time, and I will do anything for $20 in the Target parking lot. Like, that's what this frickin' look told as I flip-flop down the highway. Thank you. Thank you. God.